I started out actually playing in a band, and I met doing remote music from about 1973 on. And when I met Dave Smith, he was not doing anything with his Prophet stuff. He just had this little controller called a Model 800 sequencer. Anyway, long story short, what I brought today, and what you brought today, I have a Rev 1, and then this is the Rev 3.1. Yeah. And when we started out designing the first Prophet, we're using these chips done by Solid State Music, and they're designed by a guy from EMU, Dave Brosson. And Scott Wedge was around there too. And they didn't, for some reason, they didn't want to put out a product with those chips. And so they basically had been doing some business with Dave Smith because the Model 800 clock chip was an EMU piece. And so we attended a trade show in NAMM 77, and everybody was coming saying, well, why don't you make a combination of all your stuff? Because Dave was only making peripheral, controllers, a sequencer, and a programmer thing. And he said, no, it's too much of a headache. And then about 2 months later, he called me. He said, hey, we can make that you can make that synthesizer because of these SFM chips. So anyway, this is the first. This is actually serial number 9, but this has the SSM chips in it. And then because of temperature instabilities, which you probably have heard about, yes, there were 6 Prophet 10s made of this single manual format, and what we did was there's one board that holds all 5 voices on it, and the plan was to buy another board and stack them back to back, and had about that much clearance in there. And Pat Gleason bought the first couple of them, and we sold 2 to him, and I think Dominic Milano got one, and one other. One went to England, one went to Australia. Anyway.
Tony Bing's got one, Genesis.
Yeah, and one went to England. Anyway, so going along there the first couple of weeks or so, and then Pat Gleason said, hey, these things are terribly out of tune. They tried to solve the temperature stability problem, and Dave just kind of said, nah, forget it. We'll just make them as 5s, and recalled all the Prophet 10s. And I guess there's one at Korg where I was working still. It didn't work. There's one up in Canada now.
Yeah, someone on the East Coast had one. This guy by the name of Heath Finney, I believe he had a Prophet 10 that he sold.
It was a 2 manual.
It was the tool manual. Oh, that's right, the tool manual.
Anyway, most of them ended up back at the factory and getting looking for parts.
Yeah.
And including the original Prophet 5, which I used to take around. I was playing in a band called the Nielsen Pearson Band, and I used to take it around, and I had to use the prototype. And the tuning was so bad that I would just leave the bottom unscrewed. And then between sets, I'd lift it up and have these little trim pots reach in there and trim and spend my whole break, trying to tune the darn thing.